can pan. And any barmaid can be a star maid if she dances with or without a...
Welcome to another episode of A-List Classics, where we talk about must-see movies that are considered to be the greatest film of all time. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And in this episode, we are traveling back in our mint-flavored time machine to the year 1971, where we're going to be discussing one of the Best Picture nominees that year. It's time to yiddle-dabble-deeble-dabble-dum, because we're going to be talking about the 1971 musical comedy drama, Fiddler on the Roof. Set in 1905 Imperial Russia, a poor Jewish milkman named Tevye lives in the Ukrainian village of Anatevka with his wife and 5 daughters. Tevye attempts to keep their Jewish traditions going while the world around him is changing and becoming more modern. As his daughters are growing older, the 3 eldest don't want to marry the traditional way of being set up by a matchmaker, but marry the person they actually love, who are rather unconventional suitors. While Tevye struggles with his daughter's decisions in varying ways, he and all the folks in the town fear being banished out of Anatevka by edict of the Tsar. Fiddler on the Roof is a magnificent musical comedy drama. It's an adaptation of the 1964 Broadway musical sensation of the same name, which in turn is based on Tevye and his daughters and other tales, a collection of stories by Sholem Aleichem. The Broadway show has music by Jerry Bach, lyrics by Sheldon Harnick, and book by Joseph Stein, and originally starred Zero Mostel, who won a Tony Award for playing the role of Tevye. It was a controversial decision that Mostel, who had made the role famous, wasn't chosen to play Tevye in the film, and instead casted Topol, who had performed the role in the Israeli and London productions of the show. The film was directed by Norman Jewison, who had recently been nominated for Best Director for the Academy Award-winning Best Picture in The Heat of the Night. Fiddler on the Roof opened in theaters on November 3rd, 1971, and was a box office success and earned the respect of critics as well. This adaptation follows the stage musical very closely, and the musical numbers are spectacular. Some of the big highlights are in the first act, with Tevye singing If I Were a Rich Man, Tevye's daughters singing Matchmaker about their hopes for love, and the opening number, Tradition, which gets us right into the material. I wasn't familiar with the rest of the songs, but I still enjoyed them. There are also some very long dance numbers, celebrations, and musical sequences, which certainly could have been trimmed down to shorten the runtime a bit, but they are really enjoyable to watch. There's also a segment where Tevye has a supposed nightmare, which is a very much a WTF moment and acid trip combined. The characters are very likable, especially Tevye, even though he makes some choices throughout that could be seen as a little rash. It's entertaining that he serves as the narrator as well, breaking the fourth wall and talking to the audience, telling us his dilemmas, interacting with the animals on the farm, cracking jokes, and even talking to God and looking for help with what to do. The film focuses on him trying to keep the tradition of his culture going in his family, while his daughters disagree with certain aspects, and it's interesting to see how he takes certain news being broken to him in different ways. I was surprised at how funny the film actually can be, and it had me laughing out loud a number of times. Of course, there's more serious moments and emotional parts throughout, especially seeing how the Jewish characters are treated by the Russian government. The sets and costumes are absolutely amazing as well, and really bring a real feel to the production. Fantastic performances by the cast, starring Topol as Tevye, the milkman and patriarch of the family having trouble with the changing world, Norma Crane as Golda, Tevye's wife who worries about their daughter's futures as well, Rosalind Harris as Seidel, their oldest daughter who wants to marry her childhood sweetheart. Leonard Fry as Model, the tailor who's in love with Seidel. Michelle March as Hoddle, their second daughter who falls in love with a Bolshevik. And Neva Small as Chava, their third daughter who falls in love with a Russian Orthodox Christian. The film was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, including Best Supporting Actor for Fry, Best Actor for Topol, Best Director for Norman Jewison, and Best Picture. It won 3 Oscars for Best Sound, Best Cinematography for Oswald Morris, and Best Music Scoring Adaptation for John Williams. Fiddler on the Roof is an epic musical with a wonderful performance by Topol and remains one of the best musical adaptations from stage to screen. All right, well, that's the show. I'll be back with another episode of A-List Classics very soon. But until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. youtube.com/westside515. Like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/WestTroopAlist. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WestAlist. Until next time, Troop out.